Now, if you're considering moving to the Portland metro area, but are struggling to decide on the right location, you're in the right place. In this video, I'll talk about all the main neighborhoods, so by the end of the video, you should have a good idea on which neighborhoods are right for you and which might be a bad fit. So stay tuned as we explore all of Portland. Okay, so the first thing you need to be aware of, in Portland there are quadrants. And you may expect there to be 4 quadrants, which would make the most sense. But Portland is known for being a little weird, a little different, and therefore there's actually 6 quadrants. Okay, the Willamette River that you can see goes right through the heart of Portland. That separates the west and the east. So everything west of the Willamette River will either be northwest, southwest, or south Portland. So there's those 3 quadrants. Everything east of the Willamette River will either be northeast, southeast, or north Portland. So that's the first split, is the river. The second split, which is Burnside, east, you see here Burnside right through the middle of the screen, and that goes right across this bridge here. That is what separates the north and the south on both the east side and the west side. So everything north of that is going to be northeast Portland. Everything south of this will be southeast Portland. I'll talk about north Portland later on. But let's start off by talking about northeast Portland. Okay, so we are now north of Burnside and effectively east of Williams, which is what separates north and northeast Portland. Okay, so northeast Portland, first of all, I'm a little biased, but I live in northeast Portland. I think it's the best quadrant to live in, but there's many reasons why people may disagree and favor other quadrants, and I'll explain why those are all great quadrants to live. But northeast Portland, first of all, you're going to have older homes. The house I live in was built in the 1920s. There are houses in this neighborhood that from the Victorian times, so around 1900, in 1905. Those are very typical ages for houses in this neighborhood. But many houses from the 1920s in northeast Portland. There are probably 4 or 5 neighborhoods in northeast Portland I really want to call out. First of all, Irvington. This is Irvington. Irvington is a historic neighborhood. It's been a home tour here every year since the 60s. Houses here are varied. You'll have houses that are 1,700, 2,000 square foot, 3 bedroom homes. And they go up to around 3,500, 4,000 square foot homes. And so there is a mix, but they're all going to be historic. You hardly find any newer homes here. Along the north side of Irvington, you'll see Fremont Street. And this is where you're going to find, at this corner here, there's a few little shops and restaurants. They have a Whole Foods here. And then further east is a Gilder. But you'll find a few shops, restaurants, cafes along Fremont Street. You'll also see a few just down here on Northeast 7th. And then quite a lot more along Broadway, but Broadway is a busier street. And the key thing I want you to think about as I go through this entire video is that every neighborhood has places that are walkable in terms of cafes, restaurants, shops. Every neighborhood has something nearby, specifically on the east side, a little bit less on the west side where you have it to be a little bit more hilly, but the east side, older neighborhoods, tree-lined streets, pockets of little pubs here and there, restaurants, cafes. But something to think about is there's something in every neighborhood. The most expensive house that sold in Irvington sold last year, and there's this beautiful one here. This sold for $4 million about a year and a half ago. it was like 7 bedrooms, 7,000 square feet, but it's a huge house. And this is Northeast Thompson. You have some beautiful big houses along here. And this is Irvington Tennis Club, which is a private members tennis club. But yeah, this house is beautiful. And I'll give you an example on a few other types of houses around here. Northeast 11th, I've had a couple of listings along the street. So I sold this house, and then I sold this house, and then this white one here I've also listed. So these 3 houses. This blue house was about 2,200 square feet, sold for 850,000. The one across the street, similar size, about 2,000 square feet, 4 bedrooms, that sold for 701,000. And then this white one here, again, a similar size, about 2,000 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, sold for 770,000. So that gives you an idea on what you can expect in Irvington. All right, so now let's move on to talk about Alameda. Okay, so Alameda is one of those neighborhoods. You'll see the cross streets go away, and it becomes a little bit more different layout. And the reason for that is it's quite hilly. You'll see if I just put a little guy on Fremont Street, which is again the main street that goes through, you'll see Alameda. You can just see, it's hard to see. You'll see some houses here, that are up on a hill, and some of these will have views down in Portland. So Alameda is quite a nice neighborhood. You can just see these trails. These are, steep staircases that go through Alameda. You can just see this one right here. It goes up. But yeah, so it's kind of a nice neighborhood, big houses. Okay, now let's touch on Alberta. Now you may hear Alberta Arts District. The Alberta Arts is effectively a lot of cafes, a lot of restaurants, and it's a arty neighborhood. Let's see if I can find what I'm talking about. You will see a lot of murals on the street. And you can see there's quite a few shops along here. And this is a very popular neighborhood. People who want some sort of walkability to cafes and restaurants. This is, Tin Shed's a fantastic place to grab breakfast. I'm just looking for a kind of, you can just see some of these. This is very typical of what you might find in the Alberta Arts. Just these kind of murals along the buildings. You'll see this in multiple places. But Tin Shed's a great place to grab breakfast. Let's see if I can find a few more. Maybe not, but there's a lot along the street. So in terms of neighborhoods that have walkability to cafes and restaurants, in the northeast there's 2 in my mind that really stand out. Alberta Arts, which is this whole area here, and it goes from 12th to about 27th. Urbanetta, let's just take a look at that. That's a fantastic tapas restaurant. Where are we? It's right here. Fantastic little tapas restaurant. Beautiful inside. Yeah, real nice food. Good food. I highly recommend this restaurant. So going back to what I was saying, there's 2, in my mind, neighborhoods in northeast Portland which really stand out for restaurants and places just to take a stroll in the evening. One of which is Alberta Arts. The second of which is on Fremont, and it's, let me just highlight, this is where we were in Irvington, and it's, the second one is in Beaumont, Wilshire, which is right here. And that goes from around northeast 40th to around northeast 50th. So you see it's a grid system. I love this area for a few reasons. One is my office is actually located in the Beaumont, Wilshire neighborhood on Fremont. There's some fantastic places. A High Top Tavern, really cool bar. Yeah, kind of a fun bar. And they've got a great patio back here as well. So a real cool patio. So another fantastic little neighborhood bar. And there's several others. Little Griddle is a great breakfast spot. You've got Pips, which is a donut place. My office is literally right next door to Pips. Wanderly, here we go, Bang Bang Thai. It's kind of a cool little restaurant, good food. Yeah, one of my pop spots, and it's small, but it's cute. So this is definitely one of the 2 main areas in northeast Portland, which I really, really like. Now, there's a very small, cute area on Killingsworth and like around this area here, Concordia. And here we go, right here. This is a fantastic corner to live in. If you're close to this, Killingsworth and 30th, there's not a great deal there, but it's like 4 or 5, spin around, 4 or 5 really cool restaurants, bars, and it feels like very much a neighborhood area. So the people who go out here are from the neighborhood. So Dame is a great restaurant. You've got, I forget what this restaurant here is called. There's a bar here. Let me just zoom, see if we can go take a look inside. Was it Expatriate? It's just a kind of a cool bar. Yeah, just kind of a fun bar to be in there. Small, cozy. And then also across the street from that, yeah, Wilder. Another real kind of nice bar. I think I had a fried chicken sandwich, I think, when I was in there. Yeah, so it's kind of a real cool place to be. So this is just a little tiny little pocket of just a few places, but that's a fun place to be. And again, houses right around here, they are going to be older, but you will find some newer buildings. And a lot of the newer buildings in Portland tend to be skinny and go straight up. So I think there's a couple of houses. Let me just see if I can find it right around here somewhere. Yeah, perfect. This is a great example I'm talking about. So this is effectively 2 houses built on one lot. And what you'll see is that there'll be an ADU in the basement, accessory dwelling unit. So it could be an extra space you might rent out, or it could be, it generally has a 1 bedroom and a separate kitchen or a studio down there. But this is a great example I'm talking about. You'll have the main living on these 2 floors, and then basically there's room for 4 people here. So you'll see quite a lot of this happens in some of these areas that aren't classified as historic, and they build these up. But yeah. Okay, so I think that's the main parts of northeast Portland I wanted to talk about. Rose City Park's fun. You've got the Rose City Golf Course as well. Yeah, but just kind of around here, nice houses, kind of open, green land, and just kind of generally a nice place to live. Now, I like northeast Portland. It feels like it's one of the more, compared to southeast Portland, it's very residential, and it feels like it's in generally well maintained and kept in good condition. I should touch on Grant Park right in the middle here. So again, Irvington's here, but Grant Park is just to the east of Irvington. Grant High School is one of the best high schools in all of Portland. They've also gone for a big renovation project recently. The school was closed for 2 years, and the whole school was gutted and restarted again. But an old school, in fact, let me just see if we can take a look from the outside. Yeah, so this is Grant High School. In fact, okay, so that's a picture where they're renovating it. But it's a beautiful building, and it's on Grant Park, which is a great park. And I recently put out a video on the school and area as well. So if you want good schools, around Grant Park is probably the best place to be. You've got schools that are rated 8 or 9 out of 10. The Beverly Cleary School, which is, because a couple of different campuses, right here is one of the main campuses, and up here is the second one. But overall, Grant Park, great area for schools. Irvington, great for historical homes. Beaumont, Wilshire, Alberta, great place for cafes, bars, restaurants, and things within walkable distance. Okay, so let's go south into southeast Portland. Now, technically, Laurelhurst is actually northeast Portland because you'll see Burnside's right here. But Laurelhurst Park is in southeast. So Laurelhurst is both kind of a northeast and a southeast Portland neighborhood. When you think of prestigious neighborhoods on the east side, you think of Laurelhurst. You think of Irvington. You think of Eastmoreland. Maybe Mount Tabor as well. Those are kind of the prestigious neighborhoods on the east side. Laurelhurst, you can see again, is kind of the grid system goes away and has more curvature in the roads. I'm just going to put the little guy down, plopping down here and see. Yeah, just kind of cute, charming homes, tree-lined streets, again, these are all older neighborhoods. Most of the east side of the river is 1920s-ish, in and around that time frame. The further east you go, you get some newer homes, but generally, cute homes like this style is very typical for this neighborhood. Okay, so that's Laurelhurst. And Laurelhurst Park, I would say, is probably my favorite park in all of Portland. It has the lake in the middle, which I personally love. And then it's got, it's nicely set up. There's picnic tables here. For my wife's birthday one year, we went there and we brought all our friends along and had kind of a picnic in the park. There's barbecue units set up, but it's just a nice park to walk along. In fact, I should show you the houses on the south side. They are really pretty. So yeah, big houses along the south side. If we can get a good view. Yeah, just beautiful houses along the south side of Laurelhurst. So Laurelhurst, another beautiful neighborhood to potentially consider if you're looking for a something a bit special. Okay, so that's Laurelhurst. The next neighborhood I think I will show you is Mount Tabor, which is further east over here, right in the middle. Mount Tabor is a inactive, thankfully, volcano park in Portland. So obviously in this area there's plenty of volcanoes. You got Mount St. Helens is the most famous one, but Mount Tabor is an inactive volcano, and you've got these two different reservoirs. And if you're, let's see, up here, you'll have some fantastic views of one, and there's one further down below, and then you'll have some views. Let's just see if we can go down the street. You have some fantastic views of Portland in the distance. So it's a nice park to walk around. Again, it is quite hilly. You've got kind of the top of the hill up there is quite steep, but being in this neighborhood, especially on the east side, actually is really pretty. Yeah, what a great spot I just found. So this is Southeast 71st, and we're looking east, and this way's a little bit south as well. But this house here, this house right on the corner, I was helping the owners there sell that house last year, 2 years ago. And that house is beautiful. It has 180-degree views. In fact, you can see it right here. That's Mount Hood, right in the middle of the screen there. So houses along here have some fantastic views, like just 180-degree views looking over Mount Hood. There's other mountain ranges as well, but what a perfect spot to kind of see this. Houses along here, this one was built in 1969, I believe. They're kind of built in the 60s. There is a newer one down the street, but yeah, this is a really great spot to have some great views if you're looking for that. And there are other places in Portland where you'll have great views. Most of them on the west side, but this is the one or two spots that you'll have on the east side of Portland where you have some great views. Okay, so that's Mount Tabor. Let's talk about Ladd's Addition. So right in the middle of the screen here is Ladd's Addition. I have to find out why it's called Ladd's Addition, but again, the first thing you'll notice is the traditional grid system gets kind of flipped 45 degrees and has a very unique style. And there's one-way systems around this whole thing, and you'll see there's several different rose gardens. And when you're driving around, you kind of get a little bit lost and kind of struggle to get out. But it's pretty, right? So you've got kind of, when this is in bloom, it's a beautiful rose garden. This is just one of the smaller ones. In Ladd's Addition, there's 4 or 5 of them. But yeah, this is a good neighborhood, nice houses, kind of a nice place to be. The center, let's take a look at the center of Ladd's Addition. Yeah, just kind of a big roundabout of kind of a nice area. But this is a good area. There's a few reasons why I really like Ladd's Addition and why sometimes I recommend this to a certain type of person. Is you have Hawthorne Boulevard, which is the street that goes west to east. And you'll see there's plenty of places to grab food along here. It's quite an active spot. So there's a poke joint across here, there's... No, it looks like it's closed. But this whole spot has a lot, and it goes on until like the 40s and 50s street. In fact, let's take a look at McMenamin's, the Baghdad kind of theatre pub. But Hawthorne is a very busy, active street. So, and it goes on for a long time. You'll see Lads Addition's kind of to the west of a lot of the activity on Hawthorne, but it's certainly within walkable distance. Also on Hawthorne, you have Hawthorne Asylum. So if you don't know, Portland is famous for food carts, food trucks. Hawthorne Asylum is probably the best one in my opinion. There's about 20 different food trucks that go around here, plenty of seating. It's kind of just a fun place to hang out. They have these fire pits as well. Here we can see it. Oh, we can't see it very well actually. Is that a video? But yeah, they have these seating with, here we go. You see some seating with like fire around the, kind of, so it keeps it warm. Portland is not always a warm place to be, but Portland is famous for great food and food trucks everywhere, of which Hawthorne Asylum, in my opinion, is one of the best. Whilst we're on the topic of food, Kann, which I forget where it is, it's somewhere in this region, right here, yeah. Kann is, for those of you who watch Top Chef, Gregory Gordeau, a famous chef, lives in the area, opened Kann, and Kann was voted best new restaurant in I think across the US a couple of years ago. My wife and I were able to get reservations about 3 or 4 months ago. We went in at 4:30 in the afternoon. It's the only time we could find, but the food is fantastic. Gregory is from Haitian, and the food is just fantastic. It's just something, octopus on the plate here, but yeah, really, really cool place to grab some food. I'll stick a picture up of him right now so you know who Gregory Gordeau is. Okay, so that's Lads Addition. Oh, the other reason why Lads Addition is great is because you've got Hawthorne to the north, and then Division Street to the south. And again, there's loads of places along here, Bollywood Theatre, to grab food. It's kind of it's not quite as busy as Hawthorne, but these two areas have a ton of places to grab food. So, in fact, Southeast Portland has probably a little bit more than Northeast Portland for food. Belmont's got a few places along here. But yeah, there's plenty of places. So, all right, so that's Laurelhurst, that's Mount Tabor, that's Lads Addition. Let's keep going further south. This is still Southeast Portland. Selwood Moorland and then Eastmoreland. I think I'll talk about Eastmoreland more than Selwood Moorland. So Eastmoreland, in my opinion, out of all the places east of the Willamette River, probably has the nicest homes. I think the houses there are a little bigger. The neighborhood feels like they're all larger homes. Where Irvington I live in and I love, there's a mix of smaller ones and big ones. Where Eastmoreland feels like it's all large houses. So let's see, you've got a golf course here and a rhododendron garden in this area. But let's see if I can just put the little guy down and go freestyle, see what we can find. Yeah, so you've got kind of, in fact, these aren't huge. Let me just find a slightly different area. Yeah, this seems like a good spot. So you have a lot of these kind of big houses, good for large families. And again, it's one of the more expensive neighborhoods in Portland, but it's a beautiful area. Lady walking her dogs. It's just a great place to walk out. Nice community, big houses. And I should talk briefly about house prices in Portland as a whole. The areas I've been focusing on so far. If you're looking for a house around 2,000 square feet, you're probably going to be looking at around 700,000 upwards. You may find some areas further east that are less than that, but you should budget around 600,000 to 700,000 as a starting point. Those larger homes, 3,000 square feet and above, you're going to be over $1 million. Again, that rule doesn't apply if you keep going further east, especially further east of the 205. But generally in the areas I've been talking around, 600,000, 700,000 is really the starting point for a price of a home in these areas. Okay, so that's Eastmoreland, great houses, big houses, a nice area. Okay, so now let's talk about the next quadrant, the third one of 6, which is North Portland. So back up north, you'll see here, North Williams goes straight down the middle of our page right here. Everything west of this and still north of and east of the Willamette River is North Portland. Okay, so it's kind of this area right in the middle of the screen. There's a lot of similarities between Northeast Portland and Southeast Portland. The style of the houses, the age of the houses. North Portland's quite different. It's still very residential, but the houses are quite different. You have probably my favorite neighborhood, which is St. John's. My favorite neighborhood in North Portland, which is St. John's. I love this neighborhood for a few reasons. Firstly, Pier Park, this park up here, I don't think many people in Portland seem to either know about this or appreciate it, because whenever I go there, it's empty. There's a few people in there, but it's empty, and it's a really big park. There's, in fact, let's go take a little walk in there. There's big trees in this area. There's disc golf or frisbee golf, I forget the term of it, but it's just a really nice park to be in. You can see big trees, and you're just surrounded by, feel like you're in a forest, and it feels like you're effectively walking through a forest in this park. There's a few picnic tables out here, some more over this area, but yeah, a real cool, nice park. Now, the thing with St. John's, you'll see to the west and south of St. John's is the Willamette River. You see the river goes right around and joins with the Columbia River to the north. So there is a lot of water, a lot of rivers that surround St. John's. So when St. John's and some of the other neighborhoods around here were built, the houses in these neighborhoods were effectively built for the dock workers, because this is where you'll find it's still a working dock, but 100 years ago, this is where all the dock workers would live. So the houses are small, especially in St. John's. A 1,200 square foot home in St. John's is a big house. You'll find some as small as 600 square feet, but I would say around 800 to 1,000 square feet feels like the norm. But yeah, it's a small houses. So just go back to this Pier Park in the northwest part. Let's see what houses we've got. So this is the park, and backing on, yeah, this is a great example. Just these small, cute houses. This one looks like it's had a garage built on, but you'll see the house itself is small. This yellow one to the side of it, again, is a small house. But look how cool that would be to live opposite this park. So houses in St. John's can start at around the high 300s, low 400s. $450,000 for a house in St. John's will get you something quite nice, but again, it's a small house. So this area is typically very popular with either first-time buyers, or you have a lot of single-story houses here, so quite popular with people who are downsizing and looking for a single story. But it's, even though the price points are lower, it feels like a well-maintained area, cute, adorable, and I personally really like St. John's. So if you're looking for that slightly lower price point, under the medium price point, St. John's is probably my top recommendation. All right, so that's a pro tip. Consider St. John's. St. John's does have, a kind of a street with, I think it's Lombard Street, yeah, which has cafes, restaurants. Let's just put our little guy down out here. I know this cafe is cute and charming. So, yeah, you've got this kind of whimsical street, but there's a kind of a bar across the street here. It's a nice place to be. It just feels like a nice part of Portland. So I like it. Portland does have the reputation of being weird, right? Keep Portland weird. I honestly don't see that very often. But if I do, I feel like North Portland still kind of has that old school, not weirdness, but quirkiness, uniqueness, charm. I think, the whole Keep Portland Weird is more about it's people are more unique and do their own thing, which I think is great. And I see that more in North Portland. Another neighborhood which is kind of cool in North Portland is all the way over here is Kenton. So you'll see this is a bridge that goes over to Vancouver, Washington, but Kenton is down here, and you've got just a cute street here with places to go for food. There's a great, here's the great Mexican place. You'll see it's just a kind of a fun street. So hopefully you're now getting the idea that southeast Portland is residential and has lots of little cute neighborhoods which are walkable, cafes, bars, restaurants, stores, shops, grocery stores. And you have that in many, many different areas. I'm only touching on some of my favorite neighborhoods in these areas, but you'll see this is very typical. This is kind of what the east side of the river is like. Well, let's talk about one other area, which is Overlook. In fact, we should talk about this right in the middle of the screen. This is the dock. So if we go right here, Willamette Boulevard, behind the trees, you'll see, if I can find a spot, maybe I'll go this way. Okay, it's a little hard to see. These trees are right in the way. But down below, here we go. Down below, you'll see it's a working port. You'll see there's tons of trucks. You'll see, this is where the docks are. So this is Overlook, but behind, you have fantastic houses. You have this cute neighborhood with beautiful homes, old trees. This is a nice neighborhood. And I would say you get a little bit more for your money here compared to Northeast Portland, definitely. But I think it's a charming area. And this is kind of the style that you're seeing more and more of in North Portland. Parts of North Portland have a bad reputation. And I would advise, just if this is an area for you, just get out and take a look around. I think North Portland generally is pretty good. The areas that have a bad reputation tend to be very much the top northern area around here. Because you're by the freeways. But overall, it's a kind of a nice area in general. Let's just pop ourselves down here. Yeah, it's a cute neighborhood. Okay, so that, I think, is the main part of North Portland. You do have the university here as well. And then Arbor Lodge, right in the middle here, is another neighborhood. Just cute houses. So you have, nice areas. And you'll see, everywhere we've been, trees. Older, established neighborhoods. And that's what you can expect from being east of the river. Okay, so just before we continue, if you're enjoying this video, please do like and subscribe. And I did want to remind you that I am a real estate broker based in Portland, Oregon. So if you're considering moving here, then please do reach out and I help you find your perfect neighborhood. Now, all of my contact details, including my phone number, email address, and a link to book a Zoom call are in the description below. So I look forward to hearing from you. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so before we wrap up North Portland, I wanted to just come back to a couple of neighborhoods I missed. Firstly, Mississippi. Mississippi is a fantastic neighborhood. And in North Portland, I would say Mississippi is the best neighborhood for bars, restaurants, cafes, things to do, And that's this street here. So North Mississippi. Let's just put our little guy down here. The north side, where it says Prost, is there's a bar on the corner, but then you have like food carts, kind of food pods in here. Just another kind of fun place to be. But I'm spinning around, going down the hill. There's houses along here. But yeah, you've got kind of cool restaurants, a bar down here. There's a great breakfast spot next to the donut shop down here somewhere. But you'll see it's kind of a combo of condos. Here's a bit more. Here's a bit more going on. So I'm looking for a Bruder Nord, which I think is right on this corner somewhere. It's a really good breakfast spot. One of my favorite spots. I need to come back to this area. I haven't been here as often as I should because there is a lot here. And this area also has, I think it's the biggest street market in all of Portland. It has that once a year. I think it's once a year. But I was there, I think it was just gone, and it was very, very warm that day. very, very hot. Being a fair-skinned guy, I burn very easily, so I struggle in the heat. Okay, so yeah, so I think this is the Bruder Nor right here. I was Laughing Planet. I think it was called something else before. And then there's a donut shop in here as well. So that's Mississippi. And then the second area is if you want to live in a more condo lifestyle, but east of the river, then right around North Williams is probably the place to be. And let's put our little guy back on the street. Let's see, there's houses there, but there are kind of condos, condo style down here, condos down the end down here as well. Here's the more typical apartments. So it's nice because you've got the condos up above, and then down below you've got, a gym, or actually my barber shop is down here somewhere, thrown right there. That's where I get my haircut. So yeah, it's kind of a cool place. There's a bar on a corner, which I actually think is shut down. This is an old picture. That's an old picture. I think this one might have shut down. But yeah, kind of a cool place to be overall. So those are kind of two more neighborhoods in North Portland I just want to cover. Okay, so I think that's north, northeast, southeast covered. I now want to move west of the Willamette River. And it's quite different. Once you go west of the Willamette River, it feels very different, especially the types of houses, the age of houses. Now, you'll often hear people, myself included, call this entire area downtown, but that's actually not true. Downtown Portland is South Portland. These high rises are right around this area. And then you have the Pearl District, you have Old Town, but sometimes people mistakenly call that downtown as well, just because it feels like a downtown. It has those taller buildings, those high rises, it's more densely populated, so it feels like what you would call a downtown. But starting with northwest Portland, kind of east of basically here, where you'll see it starts to change, the grid system goes away. Everything east of that is generally those high rises. In fact, let's put our little guy here and see if we can look down. You'll see some traditional residential, but you'll see it's a lot more apartment buildings. Now, there are a lot of older homes in this area, so where there's not apartments, let's see if we can get lucky and find some. Not there, but that's a bad choice. You'll see there are Victorian houses in this area as well. Okay, but that's kind of the vibe. No, but you'll see in and around this area, there's more older homes and high rises, condos, apartments. The Pearl District is a great place to come out for dinner, but the busiest area for, again, cafes, restaurants, bars, somewhere to walk in the evening is going to be this, Northwest 23rd. You'll see it's a pretty busy. Papa Hayden right in the middle is kind of a place to grab cake. You just see that on every corner there's something. There's either shops or places to grab eat. I forget the name of the place I was looking for, but they kind of have a nice courtyard area. I think this is Papa Hayden. Yeah, this is like a cake shop. So this is a good place in the evening to come out. Fireside, I think this is the one I was looking for. But just a busy spot to pop out. And you'll see some of these buildings are of that Victorian style, so older homes. But if you want to live west of the river, and it's important to you that you have places to walk to grab food, this is a place to be. This is kind of a fun place to be. So that's Northwest 23rd. The Pearl District also has some great places. Powell City of Books, and so Burnside here is effectively the divide between north and south. So I'm on Burnside right now. So Powell's Books here, which is northwest Portland, and this way, and this is the Ritz Carlton residences. This side is this is north. Powell City of Books, if I remember correctly, is the largest bookstore, I think, in the world. I believe definitely in the US. but it is a multi-story building, and it is, I believe, the largest bookstore in the world. I may have to Google that now to check my stats, but it is, a famous store around here, and it has a huge selection, everything you could possibly want. Let's just go down the street and talk about the Ritz-Carlton residences. Okay, so this building here is the Ritz-Carlton. It has, I think the first 20 stories or first 18 stories is the hotel, Ritz-Carlton Hotel. There's a restaurant called Belpine on the 20th floor. And then above that, the floors 21, I believe, up to about 35, 33, 35, somewhere around there, are the residences for basically, luxury condos. This is the first and only luxury 5-star residences in the Pacific Northwest. And I put out a video about this in November, and when I put that video out, they were just opening the residences, and I've got some video footage of the interior, so maybe I'll put some on the screen right now. But the interior is beautiful. And again, when I put that video out in November, only about 20% of the residences had been sold. And they were expecting by the end of 2023 that to be 25%. So there's still plenty of residences available, including the penthouse, which I believe was around $7.5 million. But the residences started at around $1.5 million. But it's a luxury building. I think if you go this way, I can see an old picture of this. Yeah, so this is before they knocked this area down and built up. Food court, big on the old food trucks again. In fact, that picture that was better. Big on your food trucks. So what the Ritz-Carlton are going to do is on the east side of the building, there's going to be like a homage to the food cart. So there's going to be food cart, like a food hall, but kind of a nice food hall, which kind of pays its respect to kind of the history of what this area was. Okay, so that's the Ritz-Carlton Residences, and I want to go back because I have not finished Northwest Portland. Ritz-Carlton Residences is technically downtown Southeast Portland, but let's continue. So once you start going further west of this area, the house style changed completely because it gets very hilly. It gets bigger houses, it gets newer houses. If you're looking for new construction, Northwest Portland is probably for you, but you'll be looking out more kind of in the middle of the screen right now. Northwest Heights, Forest Heights. This is something that started to be developed about 30 years ago. And these houses are big houses. A cool house right here. Big houses, and you'll see they're kind of on these streets where you can see they're higher up and they've got views. If you have a large family and you want to be on the west side, this could be a great spot, is Forest Heights, Northwest Heights. The reason for that is, one, it's, again, big houses, very good schools. You have access to Lincoln High School, which is more in the downtown area, but Lincoln High School is in the catchment area of Forest Heights. Many of you who are considering relocating to Portland will probably be working for Nike. Nike is the largest employer in the area, and their headquarters are in Beaverton, which is right in the middle of the screen right here. So Forest Heights is probably about a 15-minute drive. So many people who work for Nike live in Forest Heights. And let's see if I can find the Mill Pond. Yeah, right here. There's a really cool park in Forest Heights where there's a fountain. Let's see, just up here, yeah, so there's a fountain, very cool pond. So there's like a little shopping area up above, which is kind of up this way that the screen's pointing up, just up the hill. And then you got this fountain, and then behind you just got these huge houses. Look at these, big houses. And this is just typical of this area, these big houses, but a nice area. Some houses have fantastic views, especially the east side, so more kind of right around here. This Pinnacle Drive is a very steep drive. This is more going up the hill. If we spin around, we'll be looking, maybe not quite so much. But you see, yeah, it goes up this steep hill. The further east we go, and then spin around and take a look. Yeah, so you got some great views looking down the hill. Okay, so, and this is where it's looking west. Okay, so that's Forest Heights, and you'll see new construction. And then further west is Bethany, which is technically not part of Portland, but it's unincorporated area. I did just put out a cool video on this. I like this area, especially right around here. This is the Claremont neighborhood. There is a golf course in this area. This is a 55 plus community, but these houses, they back onto the golf course. So if you're looking for a 55 plus community, then this could be a great option in Bethany. And again, Bethany has a lot of new houses, all north. I did a video of Toll Brothers just this week. Okay, so new houses is in Bethany, if that's where you want to be. All right, so I think that's the main part of Northwest Portland I wanted to talk about. Let's finish things up and talk about South and then Southwest. South's going to be pretty easy. Excuse me. South is the smallest quadrant by far. Very, very small. It's also the newest. It's very, very small area. But effectively, it's this south waterfront. So it touches the river, and it's just kind of a small area here. You have a lot of condos. It's more residential condos, but yeah, but look at these ones, quite new, nice and new. So if you're looking for, again, a residential condo area with there are a few places to grab food, but you'll see everything's new and modern. If you're looking for something new and modern and kind of on the more affluent, expensive area, this could be a good area for you. You've got access to the river just down here, but there's a walking path. So yeah, this is South Waterfront, and I definitely plan on doing a video out in this area because I think it's kind of a cool place. It's definitely a certain type of person who would love kind of the condo living, and you have a lot of condo living further north in that downtown area, but this is more residential, modern, new, slick condo living by the river. So yeah, kind of a cool area. So that's effectively what South Portland is. It's not a big area, but Southwest Portland, and it really goes everywhere from Powell's Voodoo Donuts. It includes the Ritz Carlton residences, downtown, and then goes kind of out this way, southwest. Now, Goose Hollow, Portland Heights, these areas are very hilly, and you have some houses again which have great views, and they're very steep. And I think probably the most luxurious homes in all of Portland are going to be in this area. In fact, let's see if we just change our view. There is a house in this area right here. Yeah, it's got houses with pools and their own private tennis courts, but right in this area here, Portland Heights is going to be where you'll find the most luxurious homes, expensive multi-million-dollar homes. Not this exact one, but yeah, it's a lot of them are quite private from the street, so we probably won't see. Yeah, private drive. It's going to be hard to find some of these, but again, very hilly. Oh, that's a dead end. Okay, but yeah, so these houses are real cool houses, and I'm representing a client buying a house. Is right around here somewhere. Fairmont, is it this one? It's a Mediterranean style. Is it this one here? Yes, it is this one here. I have a client. We bought this house start of 2023. They love this one, a Mediterranean style house, and they had views looking east. And it was a long way east because you can see the airport from their house. The views up here, beautiful house, but they could see. So from this side window, it looks all the way down the way, and you can actually see the airport from that house. So, PDX Airport is right up here. So a long, long way. Let's get back to this view. I think it's easier to get our lay of the land. So yeah, if you're looking for a house with views, Southeast Portland's going to be a great option. Forest Heights in Southwest Portland's going to be a great option. Northwest Portland's going to be a great option because it's just generally a lot hilly. Anywhere you can see these streets kind of have these non-grid system style are going to be streets with, hilly houses, kind of on steep driveways. Let's keep going. Multnomah Village, which is where are we? I've lost my bearings. Multnomah Village. Now I lived in Oakland, California for many years, and you know, places like Rockridge, Piedmont, if you know those areas in Portland. This to me feels very much like kind of some of those neighborhoods in Oakland, California. But you've got kind of this cute street, you know, small amount of parking, people sitting out, and this is during COVID where they had individual booths on the street, and a lot of Portland allows you to continue doing that now that it was so popular that they've allowed you to kind of have the street dining options, which is great. But I like this area, fun area, just a cute, adorable, it's pretty small, but a cute, adorable place just to kind of walk out and, you know, grab a coffee on a Sunday morning. But yeah, Multnomah Village is very popular. I think that's the main part. Oh, this area is very popular as well. There's kind of some cool houses. I'm looking for a house that represents for a client. I can't see it right now. It's in this area somewhere. But yeah, kind of some newer houses. These houses are probably from the 50s and 60s around here. But yeah, kind of a cool place to be. So I think that's the main parts of Portland I wanted to talk about. So hopefully you found this video useful. I have many other videos where I explore these neighborhoods, so maybe a good next step would be to take a look at those now. Until next time though, thanks for watching.